Okay, let's go. So very quickly, colleagues, thanks for coming. We're almost there, last penultimate day. I'm delighted to this afternoon just welcome colleagues from the Students' Union, a vital cog in the works that are just going to take some time to talk about what they can actually do to support the process for September, just to make sure you're all up to speed. So guys, thank you very much for taking the time. It's much appreciated. And I'll hand it over. Can you see the chat?
Yeah, I think so.
Lovely. Okay, brilliant. Thanks, guys. Over to
Thank you. Okay, so welcome everybody to our session. So today it's UPSU, how we can work with you. Today we want to tell you about the union, what we do and what we're aiming to do. We're going to introduce you to Mike, our elected officer of development and our insights lead, with highlights of the work that we've done and what we can do to support you while setting you into our plans for 2021. We'll also look at what the student focus and course reps are going to do, as well as our student groups and activities, with a little bit of UPSU merchandise and reception offering in there as well. Hopefully we'll have some time for questions at the end. But if you do have any queries after this session, please do not hesitate to contact me. So my name is Rebecca and my email is rebecca.cartwright@upsu.net. So with me today presenting, we have got Anita, who is our insights lead, and Mike. So I'm going to hand over to Mike now.
Hello everyone. Right, so here we go. The union supports students' study needs and makes sure that students' academic interests is always represented. We also provide more learning spaces and help to facilitate learning various new skills to maximise the university experience. And every student that comes to the University of Portsmouth is automatically a member of the Students' Union. We offer a wide range of student representation, anywhere from campaign groups to student academic representation. With an excellent advice service, we can help students on a wide range of issues, from annoying housemates to wellbeing to academic issues such as appeals and extenuating circumstances. UPSU's advice team are there for all students at every step of their academic life and journey through university. The Students' Union elected officers, such as myself, are chosen by our students each year to make sure that the university knows what matters most to our students. We sit at university boards and make sure that the University of Portsmouth students' interests are always at the forefront of the university's mind. So as development officer, I'll be working to deliver an all-round development plan that will look at strengths and weaknesses of all our students' groups. This will look at media recognition, branding, event support and committee training. I want to work alongside a range of departments to look at how we can grow students and give them mental health support and a platform where their ideas and events can be seen and heard. This year I aim to get programmes going like Disability Leaders. This looks at how disabled individuals can overcome student life, shows their struggles around campus and shows new incoming disabled students that university life can't stop them. I'd like to get women's empowerment going, which enables women lonely to train together, lunch together and host the biggest girls' night in. I think Rebecca now.
That's lovely, thank you, Mike. So we're going to have a look at our insights function now. So the Students' Union has got a fantastic insights department, and there's a lot of things that we can do to help support yourselves. So Anita, who is our insights lead, is going to take you through the presentation that you should hopefully see on your screens.
Yeah, hi guys, if you can all see this. So yeah, I'm just going to brief through an introduction to Insights, what we do, who we are, and how we can help you guys. So right, that help? There you go. So, introduction to our function. So, we are the union function responsible for collecting student feedback, and this is to support union student-led delivery. This can be through projects, events, and campaigns as some examples. Some examples of the work we do include collecting, analysing, reporting on internal and external data. So one example of external data is the national data, the National Student Survey. We've already got our teeth into that. An example of internal data will be such as building a survey for a particular project or event or campaign. As well as this, we can set up and deliver all stages of focus group. which can provide detailed analysis into student feedback for an issue. And as said before, we can build and assist with building a survey for various things union-led. Who are Insights? Well, there is 2 of us in our department. So as said before, I'm Anita, I'm the Insights lead. I manage the department and the research and the data that comes out of that. I can also do risk planning and strategy management. And as well as me, there's my Insights coordinator, Bonnie, and she supports with research and data delivery, not only with the events during the year that we do, but also with ad hoc projects as well, which I'll touch on a bit later. In the next academic year as well, Insights will have a number of casual staff to assist with Insights work as well, because as you can imagine, we can get quite busy. So how do we work? We have different ways of processing UPSU and UOP requests. So for UPSU, there's 2 main ways we process our internal requests. So that's via the emerging projects request form, and that's basically like a structure that any UPSU staff member can use to, if they have like an idea for a project, for example, they can request Insight support and what specifically they need from us. For example, if it's their previous data set that they need to support evidence for their project or provide more knowledge for their project, we can do that. If it's for us to deliver a focus group or build a survey for them, we can do that as well. So that's just a form that they can fill in, kind of expressing that support. As well as that, we have a lab campaign support, and that's elected officer led, and it's campaign creation that Insights can support on as we see fit. So if there's a campaign, we can, again, we can provide previous data to back that up, or if it needs more, then we can go out to create surveys, do focus groups towards those campaigns. For UOP requests, there's a UOP request form, and that can be found on upsu.net/insights on our page. This is currently running as a trial to support school department level projects. However, as the trial continues, obviously this can get rolled out to a much broader spectrum, and this is quite similar, this form, to the emerging project request form. So it's like a skeleton to what project is it and how you think we could help, and what will happen out of that is we'll get the form, we can set up a meeting, we can talk about it further and see how much support we can give, which brings me nicely to how much support can we give to the project. So we kind of use a bit of a system depending on the level of support needed. It's pretty simple. So the high level will be like Insights function will run the project. So for example, if you have an idea and it requires a focus group, but you have no idea how to do a focus group and you don't know, we can run that for you. Obviously you will still have a role in the project itself, but we will take the lead on that. If it's a medium level support, we will offer support as much as we need, so we can offer some guidance, and the project itself can be co-managed by you as well as us, Insights. And then finally, if it's low support, then basic support can be offered. So we could just give you just very minimal advice, or we can support on one bit of setting up a focus group or building a survey, but the project itself will mostly be managed by you. So yeah, just some examples of Insights and UOP partnership work. So we did the COVID-19 all student follow-up survey, and UPSU staff as well as UOP staff helped with the question creation and format to gauge student feedback during COVID-19. This was particularly important during the time that UOP was making changes to benefit students during COVID-19, such as the no detriment practices. So it was to gain student feedback on that. So we gained over 1,000 responses off that, and we did an overall report and detailed qualitative report on the survey, and that's currently being used in university workstream planning, which is really cool and exciting. As well as that, we also did recruitment support for Student Systems Programme, SSP. We did a focus group delivery support for that. So what we did was we had like an insights panel basically, and an insights panel is an engaged list of students basically that we can utilize to basically promote or like offer them the chance to do focus groups and surveys, and through that that we can recruit them on various different focus group and surveys basically. And this was just one example, and this was on the to collect student feedback for the student portal. So yeah, so that's just a couple of examples there. So yeah, in summary, Insights strive to produce accurate, impactful and student-focused research, data analysis and reporting, and we are able to support you with just some examples down here. So focus group recruitment, delivery, reporting, survey, building, analysis reporting, how to collect student feedback, and collecting, analysing and reporting on research. So yeah, thank you. Any questions will be answered during the Q&A at the end. I can stop sharing my screen now.
That's lovely. Thank you, Anita. So yeah, Anita loves data, and our insights team are fantastic for looking at gaining feedback and finding out what it is exactly the students want, because they are trained within the most in-depth way to go through the responses and the data that we have. And as Anita mentioned, the work that we have done with the C19 survey over the past few months, that we've all been going through this different regime of working from home, it's been able to guide us to provide what students want and what they need, but also to provide the support and the information to the university too. So it's definitely a function that's available for all of our academics at the University of Portsmouth to get involved in, because we want to work as collaborative as possible to ensure that we're doing what the students want and they get what they need. And we flow very nicely onto our student focus with that. So we mentioned about our student focus teams earlier on. They are the team that we have that works primarily on representation, particularly academic representation within the union. They operate the course rep system in cooperation, of course, with the university, training the students who are the course reps in their core skills, helping them to collect feedback on the university experience using the START platform, and promoting their work, closing the feedback loop. And we also support the faculty reps to perform similar jobs at faculty level. Our student focus team operate the UPSU's democratic systems. The team support the running of the union action body, which is our student council, and oversees Have Your Say, which is our online petition platform. So if any students have got an idea or are passionate about something, who've got a campaign idea, they can submit that on the Have Your Say platform on our website, get so many backers, and then it goes to our elected officers and we sort of hit the ground running with them. To be honest, it's quite exciting. This is the main method for the union taking action on our student campaigns. We also run the student elections, which result in our amazing officers teams being elected to represent the Portsmouth students each year. So that's why we've got our lovely Mike as the development officer. And I'm pretty sure all of the academics and everybody across the university would have seen the Purple Army bouncing around, getting students to cast their votes across elections. You'll have seen donuts going out, pizzas going out, all that sort of stuff, all the fun stuff, as people tend to say. And finally, student focus support the elected officers. So we don't just vote them in and let them run wild. They give them the training, they give them the support. They're linked very closely with student focus because they help the elected officers understand the higher education and watch the higher education sector, advising them on the different developments to ensure they are informed as possible. It promises to be a very busy year for student focus. Well, as for everybody with C19, but most certainly due to this outcome, student focus are going to be very busy, and they are very much looking forward to the challenge, as I'm sure we all are, going into this new world that we're living in. So the other department I'm going to talk to you about and let you know is our student groups department. So that is actually where I'm based. So I'm the student groups coordinator. I, along with my colleague Claire, look after the 128 remaining student groups that we have. And then there's also 24 student groups with Sport and Rec. So we do work very closely and have lots of lovely catch-ups. So the student groups is a great opportunity for all of the University of Portsmouth students to find extracurricular activities, whether it's to support their studies by joining a course-related group such as law or dental, or learning and developing a new skill to try out, or a new sporting hobby such as American football. We've also got, we'll throw it out there, fetish group. We've got the Islamic Society. We've got all sorts, ranging from common interest to faith, to educational, which could be related to like an academic thing or anything else. Even got the Harry Potter group, so I guess you'll be able to guess where they all like to go on trips to. Within the groups team, we provide development opportunities to help upskill our students, and that is the main focus for our strategy for the next 3 years, is that the student groups team want to ensure that there is development opportunities for every individual student, whether they are part of a student group or not, to ensure that they can strengthen their CV, provide volunteering opportunities as well. We want to make sure that everybody's got something they can get involved in when they're at university, but also take into consideration that everybody's got different commitments. So we want our opportunities to be accessible across the board. And let me tell you, this C19 has really thrown us into that to make sure that we've got that digital aspect, we've got that digital outreach, as I'm sure you can all appreciate and have been in the same situations too. So the one thing as well that we all need to remember through this, we spoke with Andy before everybody joined, is that as much as we want to do everything perfectly, we have to understand that we are only human. And the situation that we are all in right now is completely new. It's new for us and it's new for the students. So the one thing I would like to advise everybody is just to be yourself and do the best you can and just be open and honest with the students. We were talking about quality over student videos and the development and the training for our students. And let me tell you guys, the amount of times I have stood up in front of a room of anything from 10 to potentially 600 students to deliver committee training, I don't think it's ever ran 100% smoothly like I want it to. But that's okay. The students want the information they need to know and the information they expect to find out to help them get through university, get the grades they need to get, and get the representation and get the support. So I appreciate this is a massive difference, and having to pre-record or get everything online is going to be very stressful for a lot of people. But try and have fun with it and take the stress away, because students know we're only human. So yeah, we've just got to ride this wave together, I think, in all honesty. So we're also going to talk to you today about merchandise and the UPSU's opportunities for merchandise and our reception, which I'm going to give you a break from my voice for a little bit and let Mike tell you about it.
My voice is no better, so. Yeah, so the merchandise team, it's the union shop and the reception team, and they're always there to help. The friendly staff are there to signpost students to like other areas and the excellent UPSU services and help point students in the right direction. They offer a wide range of University of Portsmouth branded clothing, from like the classic hoodies and the sportswear, the branded mugs and the beanie hats. The Union Shop also boasts like a personalisation service. So if you want your name printed on the like in the shop or on a piece of clothing or anything, then they can do that, and they do like a while you wait service as well. What's that part of the group looking to get so kitted out in new gear and stuff. So if you want to get in touch with like the reception team, it's the hello@upsu.net. And merchandise is merchandise@upsu.net, and they're like happy to answer any questions and stuff as well.
Yeah, they're a really, really great bunch that we have. I think sometimes our reception at the union gets lost a little bit because it is actually within the shop that's downstairs near pit stop. But we do have, they are literally a fountain of knowledge, like the girls and guys that work in there. It's crazy. And they are there, they're our frontliners really in supporting what the students need and directing them, especially when it comes to sort of welcome month and welcoming students back in, because 9 times out of 10, I mean, if it's not me that's getting lost, it's a student getting lost around campus, so they'll be there to help. So if you do have anything that you need to know or you're dropping into the union, please do feel free to speak to them at the union shop. And like Mike said, we've got some fantastic merchandise stuff. Hopefully, some of you will have seen some of our student groups wearing their group t-shirts with their names on the back. It'd be like, president and treasurer and all that sort of stuff. It's really nice that they want to create a brand and a uniform for themselves. So I feel like we've really waffled on at all of you, and hopefully what we've said has been relevant and will be supportive for you. I've just noticed, Andy, you're more than welcome for those words. It is an important message. You do just need to be yourselves. So somebody's asked, will reps still get hoodies? Is that a big issue in your department? As far as I'm aware, student reps will always get hoodies. I've not heard that we're not going to be providing those for our course reps and stuff. But if they do have any major concerns, you can email studentfocus@upsu.net and they will be able to go into more detail. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. I'm glad to hear it's been valuable. You're more than welcome. So you've asked, what do we think the most important thing we can offer to students to improve their sense of belonging to UAP? That is a very good question, and that's something that we are balancing or trying to balance out a lot with our welcome month. So we're wanting to ensure that students still have that sense of community and that they have that sense of belonging. And I think the best way we can do that is by being as transparent as possible and give as much information as possible to the students as soon as we can. Because like I say, this is a completely new thing for us. And it's the sort of thing that we're trying to promote. So, for example, from a student groups point of view, we've got over 120 odd student groups that we have no idea how their returning to activity is going to look right now. But instead of hiding that away or ignoring it, we're in active communications with the student groups to let them know that as soon as we know what the government guidelines and the university's guidelines are, we can directly support them on an ad hoc one-to-one level to make sure that they can provide the service that they want to provide. So I think it's going to be along those lines of just being really open and honest and communicating as soon as possible with them about how things are going to move forward. And I know that's really difficult because a lot of us are still waiting for the decisions to be made from those higher up. But I think it's as soon as we know, they need to know, sort of thing. And obviously I did just touch on welcome month there. So just to let you all know, we are going to be providing a welcome month similar to last year's activities. It's going to be across a longer period of time to adhere with social distancing and to ensure that we have that sense of community and belonging for students that are coming in, because they're all going to be coming at different times of the year. They're all going to start a little bit later than they're expected to start. So we want to ensure there's something that they can do. That being said, we can't 100% disclose exactly what it is because we are planning 3 or 4 different ways of delivery to ensure that, again, we're in line with the government and University of Portsmouth's social distancing C19 responses and guidelines. But it will involve a Freshers' Fair style event, as well as sort of the Welcome Roadshow and, more importantly, the induction talks. So we can ensure that the students are fully introduced to the union and the university and know about all the departments and how everybody's here to help for them. And the biggest side of that is we're working collaboratively, of course, with the university to ensure we've got all the right information, all the relevant people are going to be involved with us. And we're very, very excited, especially because no matter how we deliver it, whether it is going to have a face-to-face element or not, there will be a digital delivery of Welcome Month for all students, which will ensure we can reach everybody, including our distance learners. So do keep your eyes peeled, and anything that you want to get involved in or can get involved in, don't hesitate to contact us if you've got any ideas yourselves as well. And yeah, just promote the students and let them know we're here for them too. Because I know sometimes students forget about the union. I mean, I did 3 years at uni and had no idea what the union was. The irony, I now work for one. But that's why I'm so passionate about making sure students know about us and how we can help, and why I'm really passionate about ensuring our relationship with the university is as strong as possible too. Does anybody else have any questions at all? I mean, don't stress if you don't. It's not a come prepared with questions kind of session. We go with the flow.
I think just to add to your point there, if you've got any ideas that you want to do for Welcome Month, we're still planning like lots of it now. So, just email Rebecca or email me at michael.cadell@UPSU or at port.ac.uk, and we can sort of get those to the right places as well. Course rep contact this year, I think it's going to be Edward Walls, the academic representation officer. He's just doing bits and bobs now with like the course rep stuff with obviously one of our returning SABs from last year, Rama. So they're working out like lots of information and stuff for course reps now, like hoodies and other stuff. Because I think course reps, they understand that are going to be a huge help this year, and that are going to sort of really be very much, always student facing for a lot of the time. So we're going to really need them this year. So they're working on a big plan to help really sort of support course reps. No worries.
Okay, lovely.
Cool.
If anybody does have any questions, we'll just give it another couple of minutes. But if not, please do feel free to email us or contact us at any point outside of this, because we are always here to help, as they say, stealing Tesco's slogan. But we're always here to help and support. Yeah, and we look forward to the next academic year, however it's going to look. However it's going to be. Just remember, we're all learning this together. It's completely new grounds for everybody.
Okay, could I possibly ask a couple of questions, please, just to help contextualize some of the discussions we've had?
Of course.
What is the sense that you're getting from the students about their biggest concerns or fears coming back, and what they're expecting to get?
Oh, sorry, it's sort of like bleep there, so I wasn't sure if you were going to say anything else there.
No,
I didn't mean to just.
Did you get that? Okay.
Yeah. So, what do we think the students are expecting to get when they come back?
And their concerns. What are they perhaps most concerned about? There was an interesting article on the news today about a very high percentage of students still feeling very unsafe about coming.
Okay. So
In terms
Anita.
of how they're feeling about coming back and what they're expecting to get.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. Anita, would you be able to answer that question based on the C19 responses work that we did?
Yeah, sure. So when I was analysing the responses, a lot of the concerns were about the year ahead, as you can imagine. It was actually quite a mixed bag, actually. You got 1.5 of kind of the student population that responded to the survey saying they didn't want a overly online delivery. They wanted it to be kind of not quite back to normal, but they wanted a more face-to-face approach. They wanted it to be, this was, obviously returning students for next academic year, but they wanted a how it was before, basically. And then the other half of it was kind of as you said, rightly said, a lot of students are worried about coming back to campus, and I feel like in a way this is something that needs to be addressed. Like, you know, how do we kind of calm student concerns that actually coming back to campus will be safe, will be like beneficial for them, because along with that comes deferrals for in the next academic year and stuff, because they, you know, students aren't safe, or students don't want it to be a blended approach, for example. I don't know if not that answers your question.
It does. I was just wondering, one of the things, because we've run some sessions on ABL, and one thing that I don't know, and again, please tell me whether I'm wrong or right, because you represent our student body and our learners. But I think one of the things I think we've got to try and do early on is actually explain to the students what ABL, we're putting this big ABL banner out there, and this is what we're going to do. And I think perhaps for some students it goes over their head, because I'm not sure they know what it means. And I think one of the clear stories for them is to actually explain what active blended learning means and what that means for them at a module level. So I'm just trying to encourage staff, when they start, to have that conversation with the learners, with the students, about this is what your module is going to look like. This is what I'm going to try and do. This is how I expect you to kind of like interact, just to develop that narrative. And I think that dialogue very early on to try and put them at ease. And what I'm quite encouraged by is the level of thought that's going into delivery for September. I don't think, and this is what I don't think the students will appreciate, is that actually what they're going to get is going to be better by default, I think, in many cases, because staff are putting so much time and effort and thought into the planning. It's how we sell that message out to say, actually, you're going to have a fantastic experience because staff have been coming to this event all week. They're putting a lot of time and effort into it. They're getting supported. You're going to get something actually quite transformative in September, but we need to explain what it is.
Well, I think the thing for that is, as Rebecca said before, it's about communicating that as soon as you can. Like not in, I would say not in September when they've come back, because they're going to be overloaded with so much other changes that have been happening on campus or with blended learning. I think it would be about communicating that as soon as possible, really, like how their modules are going to look like. When there were concerns about next academic year, it was about how's everything going to look like. Some students really need that time to be able to like kind of visualize, like, and roadmap kind of how their learning is going to be, what time can they put into other things such as student groups. So the communication about it would be as soon as possible. In what way? Like in a way that is easy to comprehend, maybe not just in a straight email. Maybe it would take different mediums to communicate how transformative it's going to be, but obviously that needs to be the highlight of what you communicate. And
okay,
I
can I ask Rebecca, are you guys on the transition work stream for returning students?
So
No, I've been. Oh, sorry. Go on, Mike.
right, so I've just been added to the what's it called? Sorry. The induction and transition subcommittee meeting.
That's the one.
Yeah, so I've just been added to that. So obviously we've got my first meeting with that tomorrow. So I should find out a lot more information there.
Because I think that's a really valuable point, because I think I'm going to go back and just check at my end that perhaps we've introduced a new module template for start. Would it be worth perhaps producing something that is an overview for students about how that works and getting that up somewhere where you can promote it? I don't know if anybody's doing that. I would need to check with, but I think I can sense what you're coming at. Give them a sight of when you come back, it's going to look like this, and this is how it, not necessarily, but a standard perhaps message in terms of what they can expect on re-entry.
100%, because I think, and if you can shout about all the work that you guys have been doing behind the scenes to get things ready, that would really help calm them a little bit as well, and make them see that, it's not just a case of they've suddenly got an online degree, like the Open University, that this is still the University of Portsmouth. We are still dedicated and committed to delivering the absolute best student experience possible, and this is why, because we have done this, this and this. Like, shout out about the fact you put on this this festival for the academics and everybody that works there to be able to get on board and understand it, because if we don't shout about what we do to help support them, they're never going to know, and they're always going to have that anxiety and concern. So I think it'd be really worthwhile.
Okay.
And like you say,
I will take that message back. So it's very
I think
valuable.
it'd be good.
Thank you for sharing that. I think that's really important. I'm sure it's covered. I'd like to think it's covered, but I will put it back
Yeah.
into the system just to make sure.
Yeah, definitely. Because like I say, it doesn't even have to be a, this is definitely how it's going to look like. It's either going to be an A, B, or C, but this is how it could be, because these are the plans that we're looking at, and this is, you know, this is the way we're going to move forward.
Yeah.
Because
But it's
like I
even
say,
sharing the principle. It's even sharing the principles with them that we've come up with,
definitely.
so
Yeah,
they understand what that
100%.
means. Okay. Okay, Rebecca, that's really helpful. Colleagues, are there any other questions? I'm again, thank you to you all. It's so valuable getting the student perspective on everything. I think it's really important, and for me, it re-emphasizes the need to, you know, maintain that dialogue, and I think it's important that all colleagues are doing that. So thank you for your time. It is much appreciated. Colleagues, we've got a tea at 3, so you've got 20 minutes to go and grab a cuppa. This afternoon, if anybody is interested, we're looking at content capture Q&A, all the things you wanted to know but were afraid to ask. So again, thanks for coming, and we will see you later. Guys, thanks a lot. Very helpful.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thomas, do you have something to say? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
It was kind of following on from Andy's a bit